So, hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Just a second, closing the door. So, Fantastic that you had all time this morning directly to join in again. Welcome back to another episode here on Flutter Explained or Dev Cafe, where we are talking about software engineering development, and at the moment we are working on our Goland project, or better on our Golang project, where we create a Warcraft free game tracker application full stack with the backend service completely written in Go and the front end part written in Flutter when we have the time for it. And at the moment we stuck with something where we wanted to create, oh, see right now that needs to go up a little bit, just a second, where we want to create our API endpoints with Open API. So the idea is that we create a YAML file, and from this YAML file we can somehow abstract our API endpoints and can directly use them accordingly. So that is the idea. Just a second, have to clean a silence my phone. Yeah, and exactly, so that's the idea at the end. Where have we stopped the last time? So it was already last week Wednesday when we had the last live stream together. And what we tried, or what we did, is we created this YAML file where we had all the different things inside with our Swagger UI, and we could create all of that, and we got components ready. We understood how these things are working, but what we did not achieve was creating the API from it. So this was the part where we stuck a little bit. Obviously, from the last time there have been an update on the Goland editor, and as you can see, as always, there is always a little bit of a problem because things are not loading correctly and so on and so forth. So we quickly have to fix them probably first before we can go into our work. Let me quickly check if we can make Go mod tidy. That didn't change anything, so let's restart Goland quickly. IntelliJ projects, JetBrain, always the same flaws. Okay, but here we are. Looks much better. Okay, are there any questions so far? Let me quickly get up the chat windows. Then we have that too here. So, why does it not work? Up. Separate. Okay, let me try something. Let's go to that. So. And now we would like to have these two here. That works way worse than I thought. Maybe this works. Aha, okay, let's do it this way, fair enough. So the chat is empty, that's good. Or better, it's worse, but hey, not too bad. Good. But still, we have created our new league system. If you remember, we have our document here, how that all should look like at the end. So we have league, groups, participant groups, games, matches, match vetoes, etc. pp. And all of that we have already created, but now we would like to create these controllers. And the idea was that we can generate that thing with Go, and we receive then this server interface, which is a Go interface where we can see all the different methods that we want to implement. And as you can see already, they are implemented. So if we jump somewhere, in this case in the setup Go, we will find all these different implementations at the moment. So actually I don't remember anymore where we have stuck the last time, or what was the problem from the last time. I think what we tried was to start up the server. What we can do too, let's start up Docker quickly. Let's create it, get that all up and running. So now we have our endpoints, groups ID, and we see we have the controller service wrapper in them. So then let's get our website again, and localhost 3000. And we can see 404 not found. What does our getter says? Okay, so the slash command is not there. Is that correct? Did we exclude that? Setup handler, register handlers for my API. So that is just the registered handler. So we don't have any website at the moment. That's correct. What did we have? Register group API. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Very good. Forgot about that. So let's change that. Thank you, Mike. Okay. So then maybe I give once more the intro. So we had this register handler part, and we have created from our YAML file this nice little generated code where we get the interface with all the different methods that we would like to implement. And if we jump into them, we see they are currently not implemented. But what we can see is we have this setup handler and we register the handlers. And if we take a look into our startup, we can see that Gonic, that is the server that we are using, has also registered all the different endpoints already. But what we can see is the slash command is currently not existent because we removed the HTML reader from it. So where did we have that? So we register group API. That was the old way where we have already everything initialized. So that is fine. That we had also not everything implemented. So setup server, we registered a logger. Setup handler, we pass in them all. So how did I remove, or why did I remove the slash command? Is that in the main Go file? No, they are just called as setup. Let me quickly check the local setup. Okay, that doesn't contain anything because we updated. Show history. So then let's go via Git, what we have done here. So we updated here the endpoints, and here we had this register web endpoints in line 24. What was the method for that? Inside of the setup server. Setup server, register logger. Okay, then we asked that, and then we had the setup handler, and I think inside of here we had this part. API register web endpoints, while the API is no API. This is just the method that we want to call. API is the package, and then we want to register this. Perfect. Good. So, and thanks to our implementation, we have used a tool called Arc, and with that we automatically update everything, and we can see the get on slash is now available again. So if we reload the page, we should see actually something. Fantastic. And if I press now get all leaks, we get 404, and usually there should be a throw now this time. So we have made our call to API v1 leaks, and we get a 404. That could be correct. So let's see. We have panic implement me, find links. What is the actual call that we would like to do? Slash leaks on a get. Exactly. So it needs to go to find leaks. So find leaks. So this one should happen. But implement me is not panicked, right? So it is just a 404. It cannot find the resource. Because, and this is very important, this here is not via v1 slash leaks. It is not API slash something. So if I remove actually from our HTTP call that we have the API part, probably we have to do that too. So there it crashed with a 500. That looks good. And we panicked, hopefully. So let's see. We get this request, something happened, and then we crash. Sep, run, go panic. Any information? Method get, Chromium. Okay, usually there should be now something like implement me. Okay, the error is implement me. Perfect. So that means this all works. I think that was a problem the last time. I don't know and remember anymore why exactly, but yeah, the endpoints are there now, and we have the possibility to implement them here. Good. So what would we like to change? Because I don't like that this all is in the setup happening. So this whole implementation part should be somewhere else, in my opinion. And then we go to my API, which we get from the imports, I guess. And I think this is from API. Here would be everything where I would like to have them. And let's see if we can do that. So this implementation is just a structure. We get all of these. But now I have to implement all of them. Can I not create subgroups of them? That would be fantastic. Because what now happens is I have this server implementation and all of these functions would then live inside one file. Maybe I can split that up a little bit to make it cleaner, not sure. So let's say if I would add these 3 functions into the leak part. Yeah, and can't I import that? Unresolved create type, okay. So he can't access this one here. Probably what I would need to do is say controller dot. Is that working? Unresolved type. No, that's not controller, sorry. In server it is. Server it is. Server. The controller can be gone. This one is reddish. Invalid receiver type. Is non-local type. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that doesn't work like I wanted to. So that would mean in this implementation we would have then all the different kinds of implementations that we can have. Not so happy with that actually. How did we... Oh, the music is quite loud. At least for me. So let's reduce that a little bit. Shoop. Great. Okay. Thinking out loud. So that would mean I would need to split that somehow. Is that possible? What did we use the last time to even install everything? So I think we had this ORPI code generator. So let's quickly have a look. Here we go. Exactly, so we could generate all these things and then they had the expanded keys pet store as an example. So maybe you can have a look into there if there is anything done and how it is done actually. API with examples, so paths / get blah blah blah. Oh, this is the full example. Pet store expanded, YAML. So there are the paths with get and all the different parts here. Components. But how does the example look like? So how is the server at the end? Or should we even not care about that? Go in Flutter, yeah. So Go is the backend and Flutter will be the front end later. So whenever we work on the front end, it will be our Go component or Go development part. So at the moment we are on the Go side because our server needs to run and we are trying to implement it with OpenAPI. And as soon as we have the server implemented, we will use OpenAPI to generate the Flutter and Dart code to access the APIs. Just a second, little striptease here in the morning. Hope that's fine. It's just too warm. Okay. Updates that go, some needed. Okay. Let's try go more tidy again. Should do the trick. Don't want to change here anything. So let's see how we can solve that. Where is it gone? Here. It's best to define objects under component. Makes sense. For each paths map in OpenAPI, we will create a Go handler function in an interface object. Here's the generated Go for our Echo server. So we create just one server interface and that fits then all. forming to the API specific. Normally all the arguments and parameters are stored in the echo context in handlers, so we do the tedious work of unmarshalling the JSON automatically. Maybe the idea is to create for each one of them its own. But it feels a bit awkward if I would do that, right? Say we declare the new pet above this. Okay, this is just a generation. This is the structure that gets generated. Once your server is up and running, you probably want to make requests to it. If you are going to do from Go code, we also generate a client. Okay, this is what we need later. That we will do that with the Dart Go converter. So there is the pub.dev. If you have an open API schema, you have there an open API generator for that. Here we go. Okay, but that's all right. Okay, it seems really this is the way how to do it. So we will, I'm not quite happy with it because it could be quite tedious in the future, but for now it's fine. I think as long as our server is small and tidy, I think that shouldn't be a problem. So we take that out of here, I guess. We will not like to have that here. We would like create inside of here the api.go file. So here we have implemented all of them. And this Warcraft free server implementation then contains all of these. And we will have to register them, and we will do that here. And we get that from controller.implementation. Fair enough. Or if we like to, we could also update and push that up here and get that from the API. Probably even better. And this will be the server implementation. How do I call that? That's the API. Stuff like this. Impl. Not sure. Name is still in development, so if you have better names, always let me know. As I said, I didn't sleep that well tonight. Good. So we have that. We get all these. We have now these implementations. Server interface wrapper, handler, middleware. All right. Don't need that. This is all done. There's the specification of the Swagger and so much so forth. That should do the trick. And this is just this one, and this one registers all of them. Okay. So that means we would like to copy now more or less all over. I wonder myself, the last time we talked also about another tool. I think it was Swaggo or something. Swaggo for Go. Automatic RESTful APIs. This is Swag, and is it this one? Yeah, from Swaggo, exactly. And this one was that we add into our gin part, that we add that all as comments, and then we created from there the YAML file, and then we could publish it to everything else. I'm wondering if this is the better option, so I don't have to implement first of all everything new. Because that's already a pain, but on the other side it's also way cleaner with the separations here, because group, league and so on is very clean, while if I put now everything in one file, I would be a bit disappointed from it. So let me remove that for now, and let's switch a little bit back to what we had before. So what I will do is going git rollback for this file. So we are back like it was before, we did not use this one. And my idea would be now that we keep the server as is and create the YAML file from it, and then we can pass that into our Flutter application so we can see if that works directly. I think that would be an option that I would like to test out. So let's see, how would we go with that? So first of all, we need the swag stuff. Add comments to your API source, declarative comments section. Okay. Oh, there is a lot of different things that we can add. That's good. And now we just have to add that somehow. Swag FMT, the swag formatter. Okay. Swag for Go, starting Go, executable Go get is deprecated, Go install may be required. Run swag init, Go get Jin Swagger files, and then we can define a place where we can ask for a get from Canonia exam. Now you have assume you have implemented simple API. Okay. Add comments for APIs and main function with Jin Swagger rules like following. Summary ping example scheme description do ping tags example accept JSON produce JSON success and router. Use swag init command to generate a doc. Store the docs. Import the docs like this. I assume your project name is okay. Okay, so we make access to the Swagger documentation file with that. Okay. I think we had that the last time already, but I was a little bit confused if we should do that. So I will try that once more, I guess. I think that was a cool solution. RESTful API documentation with Swagger too. Okay. But first of all, we would like to start. So we have our main file. This is where our server resides. So let's add this and bring that over into our setup. I think we can do that here, or we do it on the main Go actually, because that are general information about our server. So what we can do is taking them from our YAML file that we have already created. So like title, we don't have to do that once more, we have that. The version is 1.0, the description will be this one. Terms of usage is just my impressum on my website at the moment, just to keep it simple. Contact me, I think I just added myself and my website to it. Then we have the support email here. I think I didn't provide one. License name, I think we can just keep it for now. Host is localhost 3000 and the base path is API v1. Basic OAuth, I think we could leave it for now, but we don't have it actually, so don't bother yet. External documents we don't have, we just have the servers part. Probably I can still add that. Or just keep it away. All right, so with that we have set up this part. And now for our methods, additionally some general API info can be set dynamically. Generate code docs, export Swagger info variable, okay. So that's that. Annotation in the controller. Show account controller C. Swagger seller HTTP, okay, show account GoDoc. Summary, show an account, get string by ID, accounts, JSON, ID path is set to true. Let's take all of that. So the controller code. List accounts, okay, so they provide one controller. Example seller model. It seems that they have also just one controller. Maybe the problem seconds ago. Let me try something. Sorry for the confusion here now, but what I would like to do, because I have an idea for this Warcraft 3 server implementation, I had the idea to put that inside of the controller folder. but maybe this was a mistake. What I need to do is put that at the API level so that we can split it up, because it says us that it was not local enough or something like that. So maybe that's the issue. So let me quickly test something. So we get that once more back. I think you have no access right now. Exactly, so the server interface needs to be generated. And what I would like to do is creating here a Warcraft or server impl, something like that. And here we have the type Warcraft free, what was the name? Let's go to the setup, this one. As a struct. So, and I think if I would use this for the methods that we wanted to implement, so in our league, for example, here we had all these implementations. And if I would now say instead of server, we access just this one, then it is happy, right? So it just needs to reside in the same thing. So then we export that from here and we can do that. And then we can separate everything that we want. Perfect. Ha! Perfect. So then it's good again. Sorry for the confusion, but that makes a lot of sense. So there are still some missing, right? So you want to have find groups, add groups, and find group. Fantastic. So inside of this, where did we have that? I think here. So if I go local history, should see here before the rollback. Where is it? Here we go. So here we have the missing parts. So if I add them and copy them and go to our group. So we have these three. And now it is also imported because it recognizes now that these are imported. That's fantastic. Then we can say we get rid of them more or less, because all groups handler will be copy paste from find groups. So, and G is in our case group service get all groups. What is G? Ah, it's the group API itself. Ah, because we can't import now. So we cannot easily have this service part. So we would have to create the services here in this case. Interesting. We come to that in a second. Let's keep it for now as an understanding. So we remove this. We would not have a group API anymore. I can take that. The one group handler has still the to-dos. We will just pass them into here. One group handler is just find group. Getting rid of this, and create new group will be also here, will be the add group part. So, and then register the group endpoints. We would not need that anymore because that happens all in the server setup. So the downside is at the moment I cannot make dependency injection so easily, because the Warcraft 3 server implementation is an interface. But what I could do actually, let me see how, wait, don't do it this way. I have a better plan. So if I go to our local history, seconds ago I had here, before I delete it, yes, we had this, the group API, it's already too far. So here we imported this part. So whenever this server implementation was there, we got that. So if we would like to have this server here, service here, I can do that because it still overrides all the interfaces. Fantastic. But it also adds this group service. Now our setup go should be complaining. It does not. Why is it not complaining? I would have said that we would have to initialize this group structure. We would need to also import or add the dependency. Let's see where the error resides. This is this one. Okay, because the group API is not existent anymore. So we cannot register it. So we can get rid of that. Good. So now we have this implementation. We have that. Also here we can copy a little bit around. So all leagues comes now to here. The context is just C. as per interface. Good. Then we have add leak, which is create new leak. Same thing here. So search and replace is Control R. Yeah. Make sure that is the full word. Yo. Fantastic. And log fatal. What is log happened? Boop. What we can do is just panic for now. Panic is not a good option. Okay, let's import log, just take the default one. JSON unmarshal. I think we do not have to do that actually, because I think it happens inside of the context already. We just have to figure out where the data comes from, but I think it happens already. So we get the leak. Leak is a model. IO read from the request body. Okay. Have to see in a sec, probably. So where is the import? So if we create a leak, we get this. Handler middleware is just added here. Add leak. No. I have to read that in a sec, but I'm pretty sure we have that information already. Hopefully. Okay. And this can be gone then, and I think this one still needs to be implemented. But that remediates all the problems that we had beforehand. And with that, we got a very clean slate. We can import all the things that we need. This is C, and G is still unknown, which is W in this case. Perfect. Good. So let's push that first. So usage of the open API code generator or generated. So and now the source or the master will be this YAML file. So whenever we change something in the YAML file, we have to implement it everywhere else. So that's the goal at the end. And the good thing is we can then share this YAML file with the front end and should be able to create the same thing for the front end. So let's see how that would work. Or better, let's check first if our server is still running. So, server's there. Did we get some chat messages? No, all good. What did I want to? Yeah. So, if I go to leaks, we receive our leak. So that worked already. That's fantastic. The leaks part, leak find leaks, that worked. So we received our JSON, everything is happy days. So if we can add a leak, we will test that also right away. But what, yeah, is it this one? Yeah, I think we should test all of them quickly. I mean, we have our integration test, but I still don't believe they will capture those at the moment. So let's run all of these. So can we get all groups not found 404? So if we go to API v1 groups, that could be because we have still not added this part here. So probably in our setup go, we have this and setup handler. It will use that to register our handlers, but it will not because I get this router. So probably I have to router group, something like this. No. How did I manage that again? Router.group and then adding the path. Okay, so maybe this works. Or does it requires a... No, it requires a router, so that should be a problem. So group, giving a API v1. And this one should be a const that I can change all, or no, maybe if I have a second version, we have to do it anyway differently, so that's fine. So if I go back to our test, run it, response body is empty and with a 500 error. Okay, 500 will tell me probably a panic, right? Indeed. So what happened? Implement me probably, or no, runtime invalid memory access or nil pointer dereference. Okay. That could be because the get all groups. So let's see. We have our groups implementation, find groups. This one crashes because he tries to access the group service, which is not existent. And that makes sense. That means, could I make that unresolved type group service? No, what I want to do is make sure that this one is there, that it exists, and it is not able to unresolved reference get all groups. Group services is this interface get all groups. So the problem is that this one is nil, and the reason for that is because we don't really create this implementation here. So it's a variable my API. I would like to have here something. Introduce local variable. So that is this with the following implementation. Is that possible? No. Is not an expression struct. API is not an expression. Aha, this way. Okay, and now I would like to have, can I impl? Yes, I can. So the group service is then new groups, this one. New is not possible. Why? Ah, this is an interface. Do we import that somewhere? Ah, no, it's not. This one is anyway not existent anymore. It is the group from the repository, I think I need, right? So it is this one. Let me quickly check. So what do we need? The group service I. Ah, okay, we have the group service abstraction. Okay, so it's this one that we need. And this one has the group repo, so... And this is the service. Is this? Yeah, perfect. And this one will probably complain because it needs... Can I add the group services? No. Wait. How did I do that yesterday? So there will be a group service up. New. No, that's not what I want. Services dot group service with the group repo. Exactly. And now we would have the group repo, which is repo dot group repository. And this one requires nothing, right? So what we could do is just say new this. Now you will be used here and you will be used there. And now let's try to, damn it. Inline, can I do that? So how would that look like? So services, group services with a group, okay, and this has then just a new parameter. Yeah, looks quite ugly. Let's do it this way. I think it's better readable. Fantastic. So with all that, we restarted. Let's try if we can get now our group. So we did here classic dependency injection, right? So we created our repository, which is necessary for the group service. The group service injected this group repo, and the my API needs the group service at the end. And with that, we have the implementation with the service that it needs. It has access to the underlying repository and so on. And from here, we have now the option to get all groups. And the get all groups method has then the possibility to access itself, where we can get the group repository to get all groups from the repository, and so on and so forth. The benefit of that is that we can actually make not only requests, but we can be sure that we also receive all the time information from it. So no, we can write tests for it, and thanks to this abstraction, we have there some possibilities. Microsoft, hey, welcome, and thank you for the good luck wishes. So if you haven't seen it, here we go. So, all right. So thanks to this, we can now test everything. I think I have also some tests written in this integration part. So what I would like to test is running our integration tests. So yeah, go test. Let's try that. I am using the good old Arc browser, and I can highly recommend it. And I don't know, I think they are got live even, so they should be existent now as a real deal, and I can't share any more invite links. But it is really my favorite browser since, I don't know, some months actually. It's really, 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 really great. So here I can share a link here with it. Yeah. Good. So we have all the dependencies, we have that, we have the JSON, we have the implementation, and what the most beauty is, we have it all from our OpenAPI generator. That means if this fits, that would be really, really good. Test, let's try integration. And let's see if it works. Failed. And the reason is probably again the same like the last time. On the other side, what has been failed actually? Running debug. Group test. So run, what happens? You will check. Yeah, enjoy. Running debug mode, switch, creating engine. Postgres, public group does not exist. All right, so it's a database issue. Obvious. If we check here, you remember maybe the last time we created not only an API database, but also the test API database. And my assumption is at the moment that, yep, we have an empty database here. So we have no tables because the migration was run against our real database and not our testing database. Probably I need to find a better way for that, but for now that should be fine. So what we will do is going into our SQL up part. And why do I don't see the database stuff? Usually run query in console, please, this one. So now we are connected with this one. We want to get all of that and we execute. And now it is happy days. And because we used that connection, we have now here in our database of the test API, we have now all the different tables. So we can try if it now is able to make the requests from our testing. So let's run it again. We got 2 greens and 1 reddish. So perfect. Our tests are amazing. Look at that. We get errors. So that means something is wrong. And 200 does not equal 404. That means we have here this leak part, but somewhat has changed. So at least from my understanding. So that means where does it come from? We would like to... this is a leak, so one single leak. This one is not implemented, I think. So if we go to our implementation part of leaks, find leak is not implemented. Actually, it's a little bit intriguing that it doesn't throw an error, but the reason is we didn't pass in a UUID. So that is probably the reason why we don't get here the right error. So if we run again, we can see we did get a 404 because in our leak test, we did not ask for a specific URL. How does that work? We set in our OpenAPI declaration that our leak creates a new leak response, get leak with the match ID exactly. And I think we said this is a parameter. And with that, we will need to add the ID at the end of it. So if our test has a leak, we will add get this UUID. And after the API call, we add this as a parameter. Now the question is it a named parameter? Then I would have to change a little bit. So this is question mark, and I think it needs to be a named one even. It's ID. So let's try ID equals, passing that inside. So probably the test could run now much better. So closing that off and run all the tests. It's still issue, okay. 404 put gin go to 100 not equal, okay. Do we even have a put? Wait, we have the get of the ID. Why do we put? Wait, this is the generation. Wait, there is a mistake. Wait. Make this close. Yeah, it's a put command, so we don't do that. That was something else. Okay, my fault. Okay, we would like to create a test leak, and this test leak wants to be stored inside of this request, and there happens an issue. And we say 404 because there is no put endpoint at the moment. Is that correct? Does not exist at character 13, so there even happens issues. Public group does not exist. I think that is the errors from before, right? So why can't we put at the moment? So how does that look like? Find, okay, add leak, and add leak. How did we define it? Add leak. Leaks ID. So leaks post. Wait, we have a post on leaks. That is the issue. Okay. So creates a new leak is a post request now. So that is the issue. That means we don't have any put command anymore. We do that all with post. I think that's fine-ish, I guess. And also the endpoint is wrong, right? Or different at least. So if we see again our test, where is it? Group leak here. Then we can see we had the put command on leak and not on leaks. Yeah, I think it's fine if we keep it on leaks at the moment, but still that we don't have a put. Let's try that. Let's change this quickly. Let's rerun it. Yeah, and now it works already. Fantastic. So we have the 200, and if this is passed, usually what we should have is a new leak here inside. Yeah, also that worked. Good. The question is now, do we want to change the endpoint? And because I didn't find the answer just like that, let's Google it quickly. There is the REST API guide or something. Best practices. I think there is even something better. REST design. Here. This is the nice little website I searched for. Those are the responses. SOAP versus REST, HTTP methods, put versus post. Clearly mentioned that put method requests for the attached entity in the request to be stored into the server which hosts the supplied request URI. If the request URI refers to an already existing resource, an update operation will happen. Otherwise, create operation should happen if request is a valid resource. The client is allowed to determine resource identifier. Okay. The post method is used to thank you for the sub or whatever happened. Sorry, I don't see that so well at the moment. Yeah, it was a sub. Yay! Post request URI should be a collection of URIs. Okay. Attached to the request as a new subordinate of the resource identified by the request. Put method is idempotent. So if we retry a request multiple times, that should be the equivalent to a single request invocation. we will end up having n resources with n different URIs created on the server. To add a child resource under resources collection, use put when we want to modify a singular resource. That is always a part of a resource collection. Put replaces the resource in its entirety. Use patch if you request updates part of the resource. Okay. So we would like to use post because we would like to add a new resource and we don't care about the ID, and put is used to modify a single resource on our server, if I understood that correctly. So post is the better option for us. So we do that, API leaks, so then this is fine and we would like to add that. So actually this is the solution we would like to have. Good, next thing, let's update. What did we do? Did we really change something or is it just an amendment to the old one? I think it is just an amendment, so let's do that. And let's see how that turns out. If I would like to push, commit are still in progress, that's fine. Have these things. Updates to Go mode disabled by mod read only. What does that mean? Let's quickly go to our browser again. Whoops. Go update all modules. Go git clone using the module. And this is what you want. And to recurrent update to your subdirectories. Because I don't have any dependencies in my subdirectories, I can just do this one, I guess. So let's ask Warp, I think, to have a better up. So where are we? We are probably in Go land projects. Here we have the Warcraft free game tracker. Alas, by the way, Warp, another tool that I really like to use. I highly recommend it if you would like to test out some AI in your terminal and playing a little bit around. I think the default things here are working very well. So if you are not yet defined on your terminal, like iTerms or something like that, this could be an option that you also would like to enjoy. Good. So what did I say? Go get you. Let's do that. And then tidy. Yeah, go mod tidy. Go mod tidy. Good. Did something change now in my dependencies? Yep, indeed. So amend them too, please. So, by the way, with the amend, what we are doing is just compact them to one git commit. So everything inside here is now also added here to this commit message, so we don't have 500 of them. Okay, commit checks are still in progress. What updates are needed? Disabled by read only. Go list JSON. I don't get this error actually. It's a bit weird. Commit contains 5 warnings, 5 to-dos. Review. Unused parameter. Okay, this is all from the methods that we don't have yet. Okay, that's fine. And the same thing for the find leak. That's also fine. So I would say let's commit it anyway and push it anyway. The to-dos will be anyway there. Good. Fair enough. So next step, what we could do is now try to generate our client code from this YAML file, and I think that would be very interesting to see. So do I have worked with Android Studio or did I use VS Code for that? Let's try starting up VS Code first. Records and patterns, this was the tutorial we did last week. It is this one. I think that should do the trick. Yeah, good. So and here we have all these kind of stuff, and I think we entered this API ourselves the last time, which is not necessarily a good idea. So what I would like to do is creating our Dart code from this YAML file. I will now easily copy that over. Not the best solution, by the way. What I would probably do is like an automatic or maybe one repository where you have these YAML files residing. Or what also could be a good option is like getting somehow from the same source. Maybe the client should get only that file from the Git repository or something like that. But yeah, for today, I think it's fine if I just copy that over. Yeah, sticks there, fantastic. So let's see how we can now create our client code from here. OpenAPI generator, a Dart wrapper around OpenAPI generator. Hola Minu, ¿qué tal? You can use Dart or Flutter applications. For more information, please refer to OpenAPI API reference. Conduit, Open Weather. So I think it's one of these three. So let's see. I think the annotations seems more like we annotate our classes. Input spec file, additional properties, additional generator name, Flutter build. Okay, what would happen then? Do I receive? Boop, boop, boop. OpenAPI client SDK from spec file specified in the annotation. The API SDK will generate in the folder specified in the annotation. Generator name, generator Dart, output directory, API, pet store API. Do not forget to give stars or like this library. The code houses the implementation of the With this project, you can generate OpenAPI client SDK libraries for your OpenAPI specification right in your Flutter Dart projects. Exactly. Okay. Generator, annotations, and CLI. For testing out the beta features, use the beta branch. Okay, we don't do that. There we need the OpenAPI generator for the build runner, probably. Where are we? Here. For testing out the beta branches in the OpenAPI generator, we don't need that. Annotate a Dart class with OpenAPI annotation. Okay, so let's do that. So we need this dependency. Let's go here to pubspec.yaml. Pass that in. Get rid of that. The latest version is then. What's the latest version? 4.11. Oh, you know what? I can install it via this. I think it's easier. Up. Terminal. Very good. And we would like to have the other one too. Let's go inside of here and grab this part, OpenAPI generator. So, getting this as a dev dependency. Whoop. And we get our updates. Fantastic. So now he's mentioned that I should just annotate any class with this add OpenAPI. So let's do that. API, leak API. Yeah, so let's create an API.dart class API, and we annotate that with our. Let's get all of that. Bob. So it complains probably because of the import. So let's do that. We don't have any additional parameters. We don't need that. Input specification will be inside of the main folder. And the name is, whoops. And the name is this one. How do I rename something? Enter. This Visual Studio Code, really a pain, I tell you. So, there we have the YAML, we generate Dart code, I think that's fine. And the output directory, don't know, API, pet store, no. Or free game underscore, right? So, server, yeah, just in the API, who needs anything else? Good. So if I do that, then I will probably have to run the build runner. Fair enough. So terminal, run build runner. Bob. Okay, the spec file is not found. Warcraft free game tracker.yaml. Okay, where did he execute it from? Okay, from the client, so we don't need that actually. It's just this. Changing directory, deprecated, use start run instead. Okay. So, error, generating spec, unsupported operation, null. Very descriptive, very descriptive. Unsupported operation, null. Default value for daytime avoid nullable. We use chopper only. What the heck? What is chopper again? Pub chopper. I think that's the HTTP client, isn't it? What is you? Chopper is an HTTP client generator for Dart and Flutter using source generator inspired by retrofit. Chopper's latest. Okay, and what does he getting started? Page not found. That are very good startings. Add Chopper latest version, but Chopper getting started MD. Documentation. Okay. Okay, getting started. Chopper. I thought Chopper is just an API endpoint, so interceptor, converters, no, that doesn't work. Okay, that's something different. I have my OpenAPI already, so OpenAPI, tic-tac-toe, Dio client version is still cannot run, error deserializing. Oh, that doesn't sound very good at the moment. For API inspired by NPM. Then you can generate API client SDK level from your OpenAPI right in your Flutter Dart project. It's exactly the same. Also, this is just a second package for it. Not very good. 12 days ago, so someone is using it actually. CLI generator webber. Okay, what can this do for us? Please see for more information. Cogent to open. Please refer to the migration guide. Okay. JetBrains Dart. Stubs document automatically given by the opener. Please see for more information. License. You can use this package also using Open plugin that helps you configure the appropriate commands. Okay. Actually, I just would like to know why my build runner is not working. On lib api.dart. Error generating spec, unsupported operations, null. Is there some kind of verbose? Ah, yeah, fantastic. So then we maybe get some more information. Flutter run throw tool exited. So build IO writing messages to the pub log. Fantastic. Logs written in. Okay. Command delete conflicts verbose. Pub environment. Okay. Throw default pub closure. Run command. Something happened. Null constant read. Unsupported. Package source reader. Constant reader null. Did I have removed some of the annotation that it absolutely needs and I made a mistake by removing it? Let's see. So we had this. So the output directory is just, yeah, keep that for now. We would like to say this is here. The name is the following and it is a YAML file. I hope that's clear. Yeah, that works. Pub name pet store API. Okay, Warcraft API, pub author, let's keep it for myself. Maybe that was necessary, but it's additional, right? Okay, so we needed to add that. Very good, very good. JSON freeze, blah, 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 everything is created. Now we should have... What do we have now in our API? This is lib API. In this API, we have a full-blown package. Auto-generate file, do not modify. Okay, and we have the libs, default API, API client, add group with HTTP information, invoke, out. Okay, for the basic out models, we have the group. Ah, look at that. We have the leaks, we have new group, new leaks, which is a little bit different because they don't have an ID. So you see the leak has an ID, the new leak don't has an ID. We have an API client that goes to a path, localhost swagger IO, okay. Seems to generate that themselves, I guess. Exception, API helper, API.dart. regex, all kinds of things, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Nah, my child didn't let me sleep so well tonight, so... And we have also the pet store API. I think one of them can be removed. I think this one can be also removed, and let's recreate that once more. Because I think I did a little bit... Yeah, the output directory is not this, it will be just API. Good. The question is now, if I generate that, how will I import it? So let's recreate that quickly. And by the way, without verbose, I think we don't need too much text here. So. Good. Deprecated. I Dart run instead, so he don't like that, then this one is fine. Could not okay. Or is it Flutter Dart run? No, can't be. Okay. Let me quickly check what this is about. Flutter pub run build is deprecated when I run. So I think the problem is caused in Flutter version not matching Flutter build runner. Can you provide more information? You can try upgrade build runner to latest version by modifying pubspec.yaml. Ah, okay. So that is maybe the issue. Should be no problem to upgrade actually. Here we go. And what is the other? Flutter clean. Yeah, I don't like warnings of deprecation here. Where are we? So, and now if we run the whole thing, Dart is still not. Use Dart run can't solve the package config JSON. No such file or directory. Ooh, it's getting interesting. Dart run build runner doctor. Okay. Cannot find build runner. Flutter upgrade. Where are we at the moment? 306. What is the build runner version? Let's hop onto the YAML file. Build runner 246. You can try upgrading build runner to the latest version by modifying Flutter pub, Flutter clean. Dart run build runner doctor. But it seems that the dependency is not added here. Oh well, then let's stick with that one for now. And if it's deprecated, it is like it is. Hopefully it's just running. That is important. Doing, generating SDK. Code gen skipped because always run is set to false. Already exists. Okay. Fair enough. So that means our client is now generated. Here, what do we get? Leak API. This is what we created. I think we can remove that. We don't necessarily need it. Oh, we use Dio. Nice. Yeah, but let's keep it for now, because what I would like to check is inside of here. What is now actually exposed from it? What can I use? OpenAPI API. Okay. Stuff happens. Creates a new group for a specific leak with the parameters. Add group. Creates a new leak, etc. So how would I use that? That means inside of this API, I fetch the leaks. So I should be somehow able to... would I need then to make this a dependency, right? So probably I am dependent on a folder. So this is our Warcraft API, and then this is from the path API. Does that work? Indeed. So this is now part of our project, and now I should be able to import things, right? So that means leak API, well, why not? Let's try that. Leak API dot, no. Let's read again. So we have the open API generator, pub.dev. So, yeah, we use this one. This library is a Dart client SDK. With this library, you can generate OpenAPI client SDK libraries from your OpenAPI specification right in your Flutter project. See examples. Okay, let's see examples. No, that's not it. I think inside of the repository example. And we have lib main.dart. So he creates it on top of my app, fair enough. And then how do you use it actually? That's important. You don't. Is that true? Tic-tac-toe YAML, we have all that. OpenAPI YAML, it's a different one. This repo contains the following free Dart libraries, additional properties. So, I'm a little bit sad. Okay, there is no definition of that, but what did I create here now? Let's really read into it. Warcraft 3 default, load the API package. API, all URIs are relative to the Swagger part, okay. Add group, whatever. Creates a new group, example. So API instance add group, API instant default API. Okay. And if I would like to have the group, is there something specific? No. That's just different information about the types and the error. Okay. That means what we would like to do in our league API is we create an instance of default API, which is default API. Done. So is that right? Yes, we get this, and this API we can now use to make our calls. Like, what do we want to do? We want to fetch all leagues. Find leagues await. And this one created now what? Find leagues, response, get find leagues with HTTP info. It will query parameter. It creates an API client which invokes the API. It authentifies if necessary. It will add all these things, and then stream request. So all of that is already implemented for us. We get our client. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then we have our client, which is a zone client or create client, which then unsupported error. Cannot read a client without Dart HTML or okay, that's just inside. Zone client, client current, client token. Just an HTTP client at the end. Okay, that means all of this, besides of this if else part, should be response equals to this. Or better, final. While that is not completely true, what do I receive from here? A list of leagues or null? Okay, also fair enough. So that means we don't get a status code. Oh, that's quite tough, right? We get an API exception if this is a bad request. Okay, so we need to try catch that. On the other hand, I could also check once more how this is exactly working. So let's take this. So this is the API instance, which is our find leagues. We don't pass in anything. We can result or we throw errors. I think all of that doesn't make any sense anymore. The real data and map. That's gonna be interesting. What do I receive? I receive real these league objects, right? Which have already everything we need. Then we don't have to map that, right? As list dynamic real data, where I just pass them into league entities. Maybe I need to still map them, because on the other side, these league entities are just the same thing, right? Let me quickly check. ID, name, start, end date, and website. How does the one look like that we receive? Datetime, datetime, string, string, string. Name, string, datetime, datetime, string, string, string. Yeah, perfect. Then we don't even have to map that. We can just directly use it. So we return that, and the only difference is we go here, we print it, we return the result, and it will complain because this is league entity. It is just league. What is a league? Yeah, this one. That's perfect. It could be null, right? That's an issue. So that means if result equals null, throw something is odd. Unnecessary null comparison. Why is it unnecessary? The operand can't be null, so the condition is always false. I thought this one returns a future list of league. List of league. A value of future. Did I forgot to await? Yeah, sure. Await. So let's do that. So a value of list league can't be returned from the method fetch leagues because it has a return type of future list league. This is asynchronous. Okay, we try catch that. And it could be null, right? So if result unequal null, throw. No, then we return. Yeah, let's keep it like this. Something like that. Else, don't do anything right now. Okay. The body might complete normally, causing null to be returned. Okay, because there is a try catch. If this happens, then we return an empty list for now, just to make it happy. Try adding either a return or throw statement at the end. Then let's throw for now. Throw. Still not happy. Try catch. Ah, okay, this one couldn't. Okay, gotcha. And throw. Yeah. No result, or the result is null. Should never happen. It's the first thing that happens, believe me. Good. So we have that. Here is an error still, because we now fetch leaks. The argument list leak can't be assigned to parameter type leak entity. That's true. This one is now also a leak. So we get that also from the API. It's not perfect, I know, but still. The argument type string can't be assigned to parameter type string. All right. So the name could be null. Let's change that a little bit by getting. Don't I get the data first? Yes, I do. The null name could be null. So. And now for the start date. Okay, because it could be null everywhere. Oh, we don't do that once more. Okay, fair enough. The end date has the same thing. So if the end date exists, that's all good. Website. So I think that should do the trick for now. So the leak entities are gone completely. I think we don't need that anymore. The Dart converter is not necessary anymore. And with that, we have our API. And the good thing is it's all generated. It's not perfect yet, obviously. Don't need to test yet. So, but in my opinion, if we start that up, it should be possible. What is wrong? Error exists in the project. Oh, that's unlucky. Leak API. Where's the problem? Show errors. Okay, that was again odd. Back here. Okay. So anything happens here, now all clean, perfect, everyone is happy. Ooh. Did my stream cancel? Oh, wait, I have to check that. That's odd. Add group socket operation failed, leaks in a failed host lookup. Localhost Swagger IO. Why is he trying to go to the localhost Swagger IO? That is really a weird thing to do. So it seems that we ask for the localhost Swagger IO default API folder, error group, new group leak. Where did he get to the Swagger IO? Git push API.dart. base path is the Swagger IO. Probably the base path is not set inside of my URL, inside of my file. Oh, it is, but wrong. Understood. So that's the issue. So that needs to be localhost 3000. And probably we would have to change that also in the other one. So Goland, changing that here. How did I manage to do that? Okay, fair enough. So, and with that, our client should be happier. So we have to execute again our getter. Get. Fantastic. Due to missing path, code generation. So, and with that, we have it. And now let's check once more the API, just in case. No. API helper, API client. Still wrong. Do I have to override it? Probably, right? So it says something like, hey, code gen skip because always run is false. Maybe I have to say always run true. Nope. Don't do that, but let's search for that code gen open API generator code gen skipped. Already exists. So this is inside of the code generator here. Maybe I have to remove that all the time. Let's do it this way by rmrf API and this. Success. So is it working now? 0 actions. Probably because we are in this iOS folder. So could not find file pubspec.yaml in the API. That is true. Okay, why did it not generate that now? Why is it searching for pubspec.yaml inside of the API folder? Oh, because of the pubspec here, or what? Let's remove that, and then he's happy. Now it creates that. Okay, so if the pubspec, woof. Okay, probably I just have to figure out how to do it then. So, or do I need that? Maybe I don't even need that, but I thought so because we have the API. Yeah, because now we can't import that. That makes sense. So we need that as a dependency. Good. So green, green, all green. And now we can start up our Dart application. An error happened. Okay. But we are coming forward. What happens this time? Leaks inner socket localhost Swagger IO. Why is it trying again to use the wrong API path? It's here, right? No, localhost. What? Where did he get now the Swagger IO part from? So that's Very interesting. Maybe I have to execute Flutter clean quickly. Flutter clean, so that he updates again really what we have in the background. Maybe he'd get some cache. Oh no, here it worked. We have 2 clients open. Thank you, VS Code. Okay, that explains a lot. So run and debug. And I think what I need is close all and give me the main folder and run this one. Show errors. Yeah, then flutter pub get, please. Flutter pub get. Thank you, and run. Great. So we really received from an API that we haven't written, where we just used the open API stuff. And we received all the information that we needed. We called the results. We got it from the API that we generated. And now we have the possibilities to do that. So now the only thing that we probably need to do is somehow make this versioning ready so that we can update that regularly without all the time re-delete it and reinstall it. As you saw, that was not the best option. But I think with that we have quite some success, and that works quite well. And if this is correct, so here are still some ideas. A simple sample, API leaks data more accessible. This start page is automatically generated. GitHub, if this pack is published by GitHub and following dependency to blah blah, to use the package in your local drive, add the following dependency. Yep, did that. So maybe, no, I don't think it is worth to create only for the API an own repository, or so whenever we update there anything, on the other side, why not? Then we could get that from the server. We could get the API, push that to the server and get that then from here. We'll have to think about that. What would be the best solution? Installation usage. Okay, there is something. Package, work for free, new group. Okay. Add group, new group, print, exception, documentation for the API endpoints, for the models, and the authentication. Endpoints do not require authorization at the moment. Fantastic. Okay. So all in all, we had quite some success, because with that we have now automated nearly all the endpoints, and everything we have to set up there is already done for us. So whenever we add something new to this YAML file, we can pass it to all the other parts, and we get now one fantastic created service for us. That means we have no problems anymore with dependencies, or have to make sure that everything is correctly synchronized. We can directly use all of them directly. And this is generated, so our server and our client side is generated. And that should be perfectly fine. So the next time we can work again on some more functionalities. And we use all these trackers, and probably will then start to implement also the find leak, the create leak, and so on and so forth. Okay, but that's it for today, I guess. We had quite some success. I'm happy with the solution, and yeah, I hope you liked the episode. Else we will see us on tomorrow, probably. All right, thank you for joining. Bye.